Wow, INOUE is the monster. That name suits him down to a T. That man is something special. INOUE just destroyed Stevie Fulton in 8 rounds. Overhand, jab to the body, overhand right, and then followed up with a massive left hook, man, as well. And then obviously the finish at the end after the knockdown. I mean, what a fighter. What an absolute fighter. Probably the pound-for-pound #1. He's took an undefeated unified champion and handled him like that. I mean, I know we've got Saturday, we've got coming Errol, SPENCE and Terrence CRAWFORD. Now, you're probably going to argue whoever wins that's going to be pound-for-pound #1. But for me, yeah, man, I mean, you can't forget about INOUE, man. He's got to be in the conversation, and he is in the conversation. But a lot of people will say it will be the Errol, SPENCE, CRAWFORD. They'll be there, and then it's INOUE. But for me, I've got to go with INOUE, just for what he's done and how he gets rid of people. He gets rid of very, very good fighters and excellent fighters, world champions, unified world champions, and annihilates them. Annihilates them. I mean, what more can I say? Obviously, Tapalas is he's got the other 2 belts. I think it's the IBF and the WBA he's got. He was in the ring with INOUE. If he becomes undisputed in his next fight, right, then if he moves up again, he's already a 4-weight world champion. If he moves up again to featherweight into a division, which is my favorite division, with the Lee Woods, maybe size does matter. Maybe this is the division where he gets find out where he might lose. But you've got Wood, Lara, Warrington, Mark Magsayo, Lopez. You've got some big Brandon Figueroa, I think, up there as well. You've got some big killers up there. Big, just men that are just solid fighters and hard men to beat. Now, that might be a step too far for INOUE. Like we're seeing it with Lomachenko. He should be a super featherweight, but he's fighting up at lightweight and he's fighting these guys and that are too big for him, but he's putting on a good performance. But size does matter in that respect. So yeah, just back to INOUE, man. The fact that he dispatches these champions with ease, and man, I just can't go over how good this guy is. He's one in a generation fighter, so good. He's going to become he's highly likely going to become undisputed in his next fight if he fights Tapalas. I think it's Tapalas who owns the other 2 belts. He's just an absolute scary fighter, a phenomenal fighter, a fighter who, in my eyes, is pound-for-pound #1. Now, I know people are going to argue that Terrence CRAWFORD and Errol Spence, if the winner of that fight would be #1, but not for me. I know I just think that they'll be a close second, definitely be a close second. But INOUE is just what he's doing to fighters. He's just annihilating them, blitzing them out, and he's a unified world champions, guys that are decent fighters. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous how good this man is. It's just ridiculous, man. A 4-weight world champion, undisputed bantamweight, highly likely if he beats Marlon Tapalas. That looks like this going to be the next fight. Undisputed in super bantamweight. I mean, there's guys like Luis Neri, who's a tough Mexican with a good knockout ratio as well, who can bang. So if he does end up fighting somebody like Luis Neri at super bantamweight, that might be a good fight because he is an absolute hard hitter. Maybe INOUE needs that. Maybe INOUE, the only way to beat INOUE is maybe having the size and having the punch power to deter INOUE. But INOUE control of distance and knowing where he is and where his feet need to be, it's hard to tag him. I mean, and we know Nonito Donaire tagged him in the first fight a couple of times, but it's Donaire. Do you know what I mean? You need to be Donaire type power, but more power at a higher weight and be a bigger man. I think that is the only way you can beat somebody like INOUE. He's just an absolute animal. Play him at his own game, but it's a bit easier than said than done. It really is. You play INOUE his own game. It's probably a tough. It's crazy. It's probably too crazy, but I don't know. I just think that INOUE is just an absolute monster. The name suits him down to a T. He's a phenom, one in a generational fighter. His power in his hands, his footwork. I mean, he's so easy. He doesn't do anything flashy or anything like that. It's basics. It's just the formalities. It's 1, 2s and accurate timing. And I've seen him on the pad. It's boom. He just drills. None of this fancy stuff. Just drills. Drills right hands. Drills left hooks. Drills right hands. Left hooks. Uppercuts. He's just an absolute phenomenal fighter. And for me, pound for pound, #1. hands down. Can't argue with that. You can't argue with that. You can't argue with that. But you know what I'm saying. For me personally, he is pound for pound number one, no matter the outcome on Saturday. No matter what the outcome is on Saturday against Crawford and Spence, INOUE is pound for pound number one, because he dispatches champions with ease, unifies champions with ease, and he's collecting belts like the stamps. He's collecting belts like the stamps. What a phenomenal fighter. Now, listen, if you agree with me or don't agree with me, let me know. You know what to do. Leave a comment and let me know if you agree with me. Is INOUE pound for pound number one, no matter the result against Spence and Crawford? Let me know.